Hi, nobody's. Ooh, excuse me. It is a rainy day, but it has been a good day. Me and my daughter, we went and did laundry, which I like the laundromat. I don't know why, but I do. She doesn't like to go at night because the tweakers are there. But I love watching the tweakers. They're funny. They are funny. I mean, last time I was really upset that I wasn't there because she was talking about there was a tweaker dancing around, and I was like, you should have recorded that and posted it on Facebook because that's funny. I mean, like, they're sitting there dancing and there's no freaking music. They don't have earbuds in. Their phone isn't on, and it's like, what music are you dancing to? I, to a degree, I envy them. You know, you're so fucking happy. But that's about it. The rest of it, I'm like, you're so fucking ate up. But anyway, we went and did laundry. Then we went to the pawn shop and I got a bunch of movies and I'm like really excited about adding to my collection because they had so many. And there was a lot she was showing me and I was like, do I want to spend the dollar on that movie right now? Do I like that movie enough to get it? Because I'm like, I don't need to spend $50 on movies, which I could have easily fucking done. And so, but I got like $25 worth of movies, and that was fun. Get home, and I talked to my family member who's going through it, and today was a fun conversation. There are a lot of parallels between my marriage and this person's marriage. When I left 7 years ago, when I left the husband 7 years ago, this person was also uh, kicked out. And now I wasn't kicked out, I left, but they were kicked out. And I didn't really um, find out a whole bunch about it. I was kind of going through my own thing and trying to figure shit out. And so, it was still a new thing. And so I didn't really talk to him about it. So today we were kind of getting into deep conversation about things, and of course I gave him the advice that I always give people when somebody rejects you: write down all the ways that they suck. I mean, seriously, anybody. I don't care how much you fucking love them. There is shit about them that bugs the piss out of you. I mean, I'm sure anybody who knows me could write volumes of, well, she said this, or she did that, or she acts this way, or she can't do this. I mean, there's like tons of stuff you can write about somebody, you know, because it's part of the healing process. Because like when you break up with somebody, it is like a death. That relationship is dead. That person may as well be in the grave because they are not sleeping beside you. They are starting a life that doesn't include you. They have died. Now, the difference is that, if you've got kids together or you live in the same town or whatever, yeah, you're going to see them, so they're not really dead. But you're still going to go through the same processes as someone has died. One of the things for me is like, you have to get angry. You're so in love with that person, that every time you see them, you just want to hold them. You just want to touch them. You just want, like he said, if she called me and told me to come home, I would run. Wouldn't hesitate. And I'm like, I get that, but you've got to get to the point where you say, but look what she's done. I'm not saying you got to hate that person, But you have to see past the need to, because we get comfortable with people. They are a part of our life, and we have to find a new normal, and that is very difficult. Especially when you are in love with somebody and they say, I don't want you. When they say, it's over. That's hard. And, I went through with mine. I was actually in the house. You know, these two are fortunate that they are not in the same house right now. They are going through their thing separately. I was in the house, and, there was a lot of crying. Me and him. There was a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of meanness. And that was on both sides. I am not perfect. I am not a joy to live with, to be with. I have my good points, as everybody else does. But there are things, you know. Throughout that process, I was like, well, hey, he's hurting. And I was totally cool with, I want him to move on. I want him to talk to other women, because the sooner he talks to other women, maybe he'll start to see that this being, that this needs to happen, that we need to be apart. And even when, like, he would sling, whatever at me, he'd be in a combative mood. I was like, hey, it's part of the process. Don't take it too seriously. He's got to go through the anger phase, and we kind of want, if he hates you, he'll let you go. If he hates you, he'll heal, some. So I was okay with that process. So, this person saying, I just want to hold them and touch them and love them, and I just want them to take me back. And it's like, but 7 years ago this happened. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna. She's not happy. And there was something you didn't see, or something that she needs to work out, and I think that he kind of got to the whole, like, I said something about she needed to work on herself, and he goes, that's the problem, I haven't worked on me. And I was like, but that might not have been the problem. It might have just been bad from jump, but you tried to make it work. I mean, but she's, she didn't want to see him when he went by, and I told him, I said, that's good. It's good. Don't see them for a little while. Get yourself strong. Figure out, what was wrong with things, because there's always going to be, like, I mean, this is the second time y'all have broken up. It's a pattern. And, what is the same? What problem is there? And it's not, I was like, it's not just that you didn't change. It's not that she did all this work on herself and she's, and that you didn't, and that was the problem. Because that was not something that she kept saying to him. She did not keep saying, like, her unhappiness. She probably would have been unhappy even if he would have done the work on himself. Because there's something she wants. And if he never had it, maybe she thought, because a lot of women, we think we can change a man. So we figure, okay, this one's got good bones, kind of like if you're looking at a house, the structure is good. Like, I think I can rearrange things, and I can make this work. I can tweak this and that and get it to where I want it. You can't. I mean, there are certain things, like if you're with somebody, and they're not wearing deodorant. Yeah, You can get them into the habit of wearing deodorant. If they're not taking a bath every day, you can get them into the habit of, doesn't matter if you went out and did anything, you fucking take a bath. Those things you can tweak. You can change that. But you can't change certain aspects of them, you know. You just can't. And, sometimes it takes a while to figure out that this hasn't changed and this is what needed to change. 22-year-old me wrote some stuff up in a journal, and I read it last year. And the gripe that I had was exactly the same. Like, I was reading it and I was like, I could have wrote this yesterday. I'm like, oh my God. It's that, like, in my particular situation, he did not work on his mental health. He did not work on his anger issues. I was able to tweak that, but I was not able to fix it. Because that's work that a person has to do for themselves. And even if today he went and did that work and completely changed, it's too late. It's been too late. It was too late 7 years ago. And, the thing is, whether it's laying blame or whatever, it doesn't matter. Both sides failed. On his end, I'm hearing my family members' description of things, and I'm sitting there thinking, I imagine she's got a different take on things. I'm not going to talk to her about that because it's, I don't want to be nosy and I don't want to feel any certain sort of way, because my loyalty is always going to be with this family member. I have known them for most of my life. This is somebody that I love. I love her too, and I respect her. But if I had to choose between them, she's gone. And I mean, I would hate to do that because I do like her. But if she ever got out of line about this family member, if she ever said stuff, I'm not going to tell the family member. I'm just going to unfriend her. I'm going to be like, I ain't talking to her because I'm not going to allow her to say such horrible things about somebody that I love. So, like, he said to me that their whole marriage was a lie. I've heard this. A card was thrown in my face with a poem in it. This was all a lie. When I wrote the poem, it wasn't a lie. I felt that way. I felt like, because, like, if it would have been a lie, if it would have been a complete and utter lie, if I wouldn't have cared, I wouldn't have bothered to write a poem in the card. I would have just grabbed a 50-cent card from Dollar Tree and threw it in an envelope and been like, happy anniversary or happy Valentine's Day, whatever day it was for. No, I took the time to find a poem that I felt was good, that I felt he would like, that I felt was indicative of how I felt at that moment. And I hand wrote it in the card. To call that a lie is offensive. I've been thinking about, how I feel about things. And when he did that, I was like, I am offended. Because it wasn't a lie when I wrote it. I didn't sit there and go, okay, which one of these poems is going to be like, oh, that one looks good. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm writing this down. Yeah, right. I love you. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking love you. No, I wasn't doing it like that. I didn't live my life like, fuck this motherfucker all the time. Like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. No, there were good times. And those good times inspired things like me writing a personalized poem in the card. You know, well, not a personalized poem, but a poem that I found in the card. And, that offends me, that every genuine gesture, every time I reached out to try to connect, every time I would struggle, that is seen as part of the big lie, that it wasn't genuine. And that is offensive to me. To think so little of me, it's like, if it was a lie, okay, here's another thing. I had opportunities. I could have been with somebody who had more money, who could have put me in a better house. I could have. I could have had those things. Those things were offered to me. But I didn't take them. There were a lot of reasons why I didn't take them. But one of the main ones was that I didn't want to hurt him. The fact that I would choose him over a life of having more shit back then. I mean, first off, I've never been somebody who says, well, I go where the money's at. I've never been that kind of person. I go where I want. If I think that that place is better for my mental health, that's where I'm going to be. If I think that there are more opportunities for me, that's where I'm going to be. So I could have had those things, but I didn't want those things from those people. If I was using somebody, I would be like, ooh, nicer house, brand new car, money. Fuck yeah. I would have been long gone, long time ago. It's not a lie. The whole thing is not a lie. And it's offensive. Now, I'm not offended at this family member for saying that, because I get that it's part of the process. And there's nothing I can say that will make him believe anything else. He believes that his whole marriage is a lie. And the reason why I know that there is nothing I can say to get him to believe it is because of what I've went through. There's nothing I can say. The mind's been made up. There is no change. It is what it is. It's not worth it. Now, with this family member, I am going to say, hey, don't look at it as a lie, because I don't want him to think that any of those nice moments he had were fake. Treasure those moments. Those were not fake. Those times, that y'all had laughs, that you watched a movie together, that you did something, that both of you had a really good time, that memory, that thing that happened that 5 years later you're still talking about. That was real. And if there are real moments, then the whole thing can't be fake. It can't all be a lie. It's not. And, I really do want to get her perspective on it. And I kept telling him, hey, I can't speak for her. I can only speak for me. And when the husband said that, this is how I felt. This is how I would have defended myself. This is what I would have said. And I said, and I don't think she's that much different than me. I really don't. Um, you know, her disorder is a bit different than mine, and so I don't know exactly how her mind works. Um, and in the time I've known her, probably total time spent at best 20 hours. So I can't really say exactly like who she is, because every time I saw her, she was on. Every time she saw me, I was on, you know. So, I can't say who she is when it's just her and him, when it's just her and her kids. Who she is, I don't know. I just know what I've seen. And I know that, to me, for him, for my family member, I think what's important is that he sees her for her flaws. I mean, he needs to see the flaws. He needs to see the bad times. That they were there was toxicity between them. There were bad times. Everybody's got bad times. When the bad times outweigh the good, you really need to see that. You really need to see how bad the bad was, and stop focusing on how good the good was. And then you also have to look at, like, when I was good, how was she? And she needs to look at, when I was good, how was he? Like, there's a dynamic there. Uh, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Um, but, the thing is 7 years ago when I left, I slept. No medications. I mean, I took my antidepressants. I ain't ever going without antidepressants. But I didn't have to take anything to fall asleep at night. And I slept good. Since I've left, my anxiety has, unless I'm in the back seat of a car, I'm good. I am not having to take my anxiety meds. That, in and of itself, tells me that I made the right decision. I don't care how it looks. I was dying. And ultimately, I had to choose myself over him. Had to happen, because he wasn't going to choose. He couldn't have done the work. He could not have done the work that it would have taken to fix things, because it was deep. And I don't know that if he did do the work and if he did heal himself, I don't know that I could ever forgive all of those times that he made me feel guilty. He made me feel bad. I can't forgive all those times that I was scared, because I could feel that sulk was building to an explosion. I knew it was coming, and I would say, "What's wrong?" Nothing. Nothing. And I knew that it was building to something. And I was terrified, because I knew that I was going to be the one cleaning it up. That kind of thing, you can't fix. You cannot, no matter, even if they change, you can't fix the damage of that trauma. I made the right decision. And, even though things haven't been fan-fucking-tastic for me, I'm doing good. Me. I'm doing good. I mean, there's been some rough patches, but for the most part, like, I've been finding myself. I've been finding who I am, what I want, what I feel, and learning, like right and wrong, and just there's so much to it. And I would have never been able to heal in that situation. And, some people won't understand that, but it's not their life to live. This is my life. And I spent enough of it in this sulk, explosion, apology, sulk. I spent enough time in that. My childhood, my marriage. I can't do it anymore. It's too much. It's too much. And my mental health suffers and can't do it. And it is weird to be advising him and speaking with him and trying not to defend her, but at the same time defend her, because I get where she might be coming from. Like I said, I can't say where she's coming from because I can only speak for me. But the difference between this family member and my ex is he doesn't have moments of being just hateful about her, and then the next moment talking about what a great person she is, and then hateful about her. No, he's pretty solid on, that she's got her issues, but he loves her anyway. you know he's pretty solid on that doesn't waver. He just has trouble figuring out how to process the new normal. And that is something that I'm very familiar with, processing the new normal. There's always a new normal. Everything is transient. So that's it for me today. It's a long one. Sorry. I hope you've had a good day. As always, every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. Have a good night. Bye.